Welcome back, grade 11s. Now let's look at our last concept, which is link between primary, secondary, and tertiary sectors. The primary, secondary, and tertiary sectors all work together to create an economic chain of production. So basically, there's no business sector that works in isolation. These three business sectors, they depend on one another in order for them to make sure that they form part of contributing towards the economy of the country. The primary sector extracts the raw materials, the secondary sector transforms the raw materials into products, and the tertiary sector sells the products and supports the activities of the other two sectors. So basically, the primary sector extracts the raw materials, which in turn they are going to take to the secondary sector rather. Then the secondary sector would receive the raw materials from the primary sector and change them or transform them to make them useful products. After turning those raw materials into useful products, then they take them to the tertiary sector, which is going to transport the products into different businesses whereby they can be reachable by consumers in different places. So they depend on each other. For instance, the tertiary sector obviously offers the services like banking, whereby the primary sector, if they would need to bank some money from their sector, they use the services of the tertiary sector. The tertiary sector depends on the secondary sector for machinery, for equipments, because it manufactures, it changes the products to become, the raw materials to become useful products. So these three sectors, they depend on each other for being involved in economic activities. Business sectors are therefore interrelated and connected with each other. Here's an example of a forward link. Trees are planted, grown, and harvested in the primary sector. As you can see in the picture there, there are trees, they've been planted in the primary sector, and then they have been cut down and then used in the secondary sector to manufacture furniture, paper, or timber. So in the secondary sector now, they take those trees that were harvested that way from the primary sector, they now change them to become timber, to become products that can be used, that can be changed basically for consumers to be able to buy those products. Now, the finished goods are transported to retailers who in turn sell the final product to consumers. Now the changed products that were transformed in the secondary sector, now they are being transported by the tertiary sector in different destinations where the consumers can be able to reach or even buy those products. Here's an example of a backward link. A manufacturing company in the secondary sector may provide a mining company in the primary sector with machinery and equipment it needs to operate its business. As you can see in the pictures there, here's a secondary sector, they deal with machinery. Now, a business in the secondary sector would offer their equipments, their machinery to the business in the primary sector. Now that the business in the secondary sector, it's obviously before the primary sector. So if they take their machines and offer them to the sector that is behind them, which is the primary sector, we would call that a backward link. Having machines being sold to the primary sector would be the backward link. Now, I hope and wish that today's lesson was fruitful. So remember, what you learned today does not nullify yesterday, but obviously it does make tomorrow better. So, hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.